Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back, and we are back into Married at First Sight UK series 8 and we are now on episode 31 where it is the final dates. So before we get into this episode, as I always say, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so when you know I am on and doing videos, and let's talk about this, shall we? So it's the final dates for Ella and JJ, Tasha and Paul, Laura and Arthur, Jordan and Erica, George and Peggy and Adrian and Matt. So Erica and Jordan go to a theme park. I'm like, okay, it's befitting them because, to be fair, they can be slightly immature with each other, so it's kind of befitting them in a way. They're both thinking that they're both got their back to how they were before the incident happened with the couple swap and this, that and the other. So they think that they're back to where they are. I don't necessarily agree with that. Do I think they're going to work in the long term? No, I really don't, because they don't know how to communicate properly with each other. And then when Erica goes on a little tirade, you see Jordan shut down completely and then doesn't actually give her any reassurance or validate anything that she says at the end of the day. I don't see them two working at all. So then you see Adrian and Matt, and yes, they're both having their chats and they're saying that it's not been an easy ride for both of them, but they think they're in a good place. And all I kept on thinking was, yeah, you're in a good place until the next bump comes along, and we all know what the next bump is going to be, but we will get there and we will have that discussion about it. So then you see Peggy and George, they're both going to go get ready for their final date, and George has left her wedding dress and his basically wedding suit that he wore, and left her a note and wanted her to get ready. So she kind of went in a horse-drawn carriage because, you know, she's a princess. At the end of the day, that's how Peggy views herself. Peggy views herself as the ultimate princess and wants people to treat her as such, and kind of wants people to bow down, kowtow to what she says. And that's what she does with George, because George does that all the time. She ain't gonna get what George does with another dude, and she knows it. But all I keep thinking is that you want all of this, you want this grandeur, you want this, that and the other, and be treated like a princess, have your guy doing X, Y and Z for you. But my thing is, you still live with your mum and dad. You still live with your mum and dad. You don't know what it is. If she has done it or not, I wouldn't know, but it's not been mentioned. So my thought would be, she doesn't know what it is to basically live on her own, to pay her own bills, to run a household. In that sense, if that's really what she's wanting, well and truly wanting, I don't think she's done that at all. She just seems the type of person that literally wants to sit pretty on her little throne and have her minions, namely Georges, going and doing her bidding, basically. She is still torn, she's saying, because she thinks she could have made the wrong decision. At the end of the day, I already done said, this girl knows how to play the game. This girl knows how to use the art of manipulation in terms of getting what she wants and getting George to do what she wants and say what she wants to hear at the end of the day. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think at the beginning, that's what she was afraid of, that George was saying that she wants what she wants to hear. But now it's a case of, this is what you should have told me in the first place, like when it came to the homestays, when they were talking about priorities and stuff like that. And then when George came back later on and told her what she wanted to hear, and she said, this is what you should have said to me in the first place, because that's what I would have been more grateful for, because it's what I would have wanted to hear. And I'm just like, to be fair, they're just leading each other down a merry path, like seriously leading each other down a merry path. Do we think George is besotted with this girl? Yes, I do. Do I think Peggy knows that? Yes, I very much do. So George is going to work his arse off to try and keep Peggy in good stead. So then we go to Adrian and Matt, and basically Matt is saying all the good stuff. He's saying all the good things in regards to how he sees them working towards the future, and basically he's telling Adrian how she's the biggest piece of his puzzle and how she fits in, and then drops the bombshell is that Adrian doesn't really want children. Now, I don't bag nobody who doesn't want children at the end of the day, because that is their decision and that is their choice. But I think it's safe to say that Matt was shocked to hell and back when Adrian said that, and I don't think Matt kind of knew where to put himself. And when Adrian was saying that, you know, she's never met any man that has managed to change her mind in regards to the children bit, I think that was kind of like a red flag to a bull for Matt. It was more of, that's a competition type thing. Well, not competition, it's a challenge. I should say it's more of a challenge, because he's then going to want to meet that challenge head on to be the man to change her mind about children, because Matt does want children. He does. But my thing is I don't know when he's talking to her whether he's actually being true to form with his feelings with her around children, because he's saying that he's still happy with her and he's still willing to go on, and it's not a case of that he's going to go and walk away, but that little card is going to come up within your relationship at some point, and then you're going to have to make the decision. If you truly want children, and you've got your person that you're married to right now that does not want children, what are you going to do? Because that is going to rear its ugly head again. They are going to have talks about it again. So you see Laura and Arthur, and they've gone on like a pottery date, and their date was really quite good, to be fair. Their date was really quite good. They were enjoying themselves. They were happy with how they were with each other, and they were like, you know, giving as good as they take. I mean, they were having little, throwing the pottery stuff across the place, and Laura got him across the mouth, and then he got her a good one right in her mouth at the end of the day. So yeah, they were having fun. And then it goes back to Erica and Jordan, and they're both saying that they feel like that they're their old selves, and basically she likes the fact that Jordan's able to show her how he feels, and he's basically saying that she could be the love of his life. But the one thing that he's scared of is the distance within their relationship, because I think he is putting more stead on Erica than Erica's putting on him. So basically he's putting more pressure within that relationship than Erica's putting on at the end of the day, because I think his world at the moment is revolving around her, and he does not want to be away from her for not even a second, because he's saying being separated from somebody that I love, it hurts, and it hurts too much. But I don't know what he wants Erica to do with that. Like, seriously, I don't know what he wants Erica to do with that, unless he's willing to literally just up sticks, drop it all, change his whole life and go live with the girl. That's the only thing I can think of. Long distance relationships can work, but the two people in that long distance relationship have to be committed to working towards something at the end of the day. If they're not committed in the back and forth, then it's not going to work. It's going to fall apart quite quickly. If they're not committed in engaging and keeping in touch with each other, then it's going to fall apart quite quickly. That's how it goes. So then it goes to Ella and JJ, and I think they have a date on a boat, and basically Ella's saying that she's going to be on her best behaviour because she really doesn't want to screw everything up with JJ. And basically JJ is saying that he does see a potential future with Ella, but the problem is the situations that they're finding themselves in at the moment. Now, this is falling along the lines of JJ not being open at all in terms of his feelings and his thoughts when you know, someone wants that reassurance, because that's kind of what happened with Bianca. Let's not get it twisted. That's what happened with Bianca. He did the same thing that he's doing to Ella, he did to Bianca, and Bianca found it motherfucking hard. But then at the end of the day, the distraction came in, that was Ella. Now with Ella, with JJ, she's got another man now, who will not give her the physical satisfaction that she is looking for. He will not do that. The same way Nathaniel didn't want to do that. He wanted to get to know a person first. So my thinking is, how is it so different from the situation that she had with Nathaniel to the situation that she's now got with JJ? I don't necessarily see a difference, because she's still acting piss poor like she did with both of them. Don't get me wrong, Nathaniel did his own things and Nathaniel did his different things wrong in that sense, but he owned them. Whereas Ella sometimes will take part responsibility, but then doesn't own that responsibility. And I will talk more about that as time goes on. Ella's basically saying that JJ needs to affirm her every day, and I'm thinking, you know what, a person can't affirm you every day. There's got to be a point where you can start to give yourself affirmations to the person that you are, and to what you positivity, what you want to feed into yourself as well. If JJ's not feeling it at a time to give you an affirmation, especially say you've gone out, you've got pissed again, and you've called him all the names under the sun, or you've said some derogatory stuff, how are you expecting that man the next day to affirm you? It's just not going to happen, is it really? It's just not going to happen. So that's why with that one, I don't really agree with the experts, because I think it was Paul who said it, that saying that JJ needs to affirm Ella, and I have an issue with that affirmation. Yes, you can affirm someone, you can, in a positive way. Few and far between, you can affirm someone, but affirming them every single day, what happens to their own affirmations to themselves? What happens to the work that they've got to do for themselves? Because Ella has a lot of insecurities, and JJ can't plug those gaps within those securities. So there's got to come a time where she's got to help herself in order to work on herself. But we'll see. We'll see if that happens. We will see. So then you see Tasha and Paul have a date, and they're in a movie theatre, just the two of them, and basically Tasha's written Paul a beautiful love letter, and as she's reading out this love letter, they're playing how their wedding and how they met, and all the bits in between and everything like that as well with them, which was a good date. It was a good date. So you get back to Peggy and George going on their date, and as I said, she got a horse-drawn carriage through the town. Then they go to some building, and it's just them two having dinner, and she's basically giving George praise, saying that, you know, he outdid himself. And he gives a lovely toast. He gives an absolute lovely toast, like saying how much, like, he loves her, he really wants to be with her, and how special she is, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And you know what? To do the toast, he does the toast, they clink the glasses, and she don't say nothing to him at all. And this is what I mean by sometimes giving some affirmations is a good thing, and she doesn't give George any type of affirmation at all, unless it's a fucking negative. That's how I'm seeing it, unless it's a negative. So then she then continues on with that she can't be with a man who her family don't like. But you chose him. You know your family don't like him, but yet you still chose him. So how does that make any clear sense at the end of the day? I can't be with a man that my family don't like, but yet you're still with George. You know your family don't like him. You know your family think that you shouldn't be with him, and that you two should just separate as friends. They don't like him, but yet you're still with him. So that sentence right there don't make no sense. Basically, George adores this woman. He's scared to lose her at the end of the day, and she knows it. He's the one putting in the work for this freaking marriage. He's the only one putting in the work at the end of the day. It's all one-sided, and that's how I'm seeing it. It's all one-sided. Peggy is trying to change George into the man that she thinks she deserves. And all I'm going to say to that is, it's not George then. It's not George. Because if you have to pick up with a man to try and change him into the vision that you believe the man you deserve, the man who you should be with should be this way, it's not George then, is it? To be fair, am I going crazy? It's not going to be George, is it? Because why would you want to change this man? Yes, there's certain aspects that, like, you know, you had to have those discussions about, because George was a bit of a Jack the Lad when he first came in. You had those discussions, but now you're literally trying to change the essence of who George is to suit who you believe your man should be like in order for your family to accept them. How does that work? Right, so George is there saying about how he's not going to sit there and pretend it's acceptable, that he is not good enough, because he knows he is good enough. And he tells Peggy that his feelings for her are extremely strong, and he set out a 5-year goal for them in the future, basically, which she fed into. So she wants children in the next 5 years, and George is saying 1, but she's saying she wants a lot. And all I kept on thinking is George is saying all the things that she wants to hear. Like, and I'm like, are you really going to be able to meet this girl's promises? Like meet the promises that you're making? Are you really going to be able to do it? Because my kind of thinking is that whatever George does, she's going to put another fucking thing in place for him to freaking jump through at the end of the day. And I don't see him meeting all her needs. I don't see him meeting all the fucking restrictions that she keeps putting in place. So then we get to Laura and Arthur, and yes, we know they've had a good time at the pottery and stuff like that. And Laura's just explaining to Arthur that her friend's opinions and accepting of him is prevalent in her life, and they would never work if they were not supportive. Laura said all you needed to achieve was their approval, which is true in terms of Arthur's case. And Arthur is there saying that he will always fight for him and Laura. But, and this is going to come out in the other episodes when I talk about it, the actual true essence of Arthur is starting to come out and be shown amongst the masses. And the true essence of Arthur, I think, is what Laura was trying to correct. But now Laura's literally stepped back and said, you know what, I'm not doing this no more. Now we're getting to see the true essence of who Arthur really is. So Arthur is then still continuing to talk, and basically he's there telling Laura about how he doesn't plan ahead. Like, even when he went to go and marry Laura, he had no vision of the future. He had no plan of what was going to happen beyond that. And I was just like, I was just like, wow. Because at the end of the day, how does someone come on this show, got nowhere to live, has got no job, has got no plan? How does that, was he expecting that the person that he married would take up the helm and he would just follow on? He would just latch on from there? Yeah, I don't see that one working either in the slightest. But anyway, my renegades, that is where I'm going to end this episode, and I'll be back very quickly with the next one. As I always say, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button, so when you know I am on and doing videos, and I'll be back very soon with the next one. Peace out.